Today I want to show you how in just 15 minutes you can make this super cute Christmas tree for your friends and family. I actually think this tree is perfect because it's so quick. Like I said, I put the timer on and it took me 15 minutes to make it from beginning till the end, and I'm pretty slow at crocheting, so chances are that it will take you even less to complete it. Let's go grab yarn, hook, and get ready. Okay, let's try to make this super cute Christmas tree. The pattern is available, it's completely free. I highly recommend to have it in front of you. So you will need 3 colors of yarn: green, any kind of green that you like, brown, just a tiny amount, and white. In fact, because the tree is so small, if you have any leftovers and you don't know what to do with it, this is a perfect project to use those leftovers. So you won't need much to make a tree like this. You also will need a crochet hook. This is just a regular acrylic yarn, medium 4 size. And the recommended hook, like on the label, the recommended hook for this yarn is a 5mm hook. I used 1 size down, so 4mm hook, because it helps me to have a more sort of rigid structure and not have any holes or anything like that. So whatever yarn you're using, I would recommend to go slightly smaller with a hook, just to make it more firm. You also will need some kind of scissors, a yarn needle, you can use plastic one, metal one, a little bit of stuffing that you use for your crochet projects, toys, doesn't matter what kind, a stitch marker, you just need one to mark the beginning of your round, and completely optional, I use this craft felt. You will see it in the pattern, I explained it there. So you just cut a tiny circle and then stitch it to close this hole. I just think it looks more neat. If you're making it for yourself, you don't have to do it, but if you're making it as a gift or for markets to sell, then I think it's just nicer. It looks like a complete project. Let's start our tree. So if you're looking at the pattern, it says round 1, 5 single crochet into magic ring. So here we're going to start with the magic ring yarn. I'm just gonna show it slowly if you need the reminder of how this is done. There you go. So I have this ring, and now I need to put 5 single crochets there. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're just gonna connect with a slit stitch so we have a ring. There are multiple ways to do it, so if you don't like magic ring, you're not comfortable with it, you do it your way. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you have a circle that has, just like this, that has 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The second round will be 1 single crochet, 1 increase, but if you look at the pattern, it specifies that round 2, 3, 4, and all the way until round 10, you're not just going to be making single crochet stitches, you're going to be making single crochet BLO, back loop only. So just in case if you don't know what BLO means, so if you look at the stitch, every stitch consists of, it has like 2 sides. This one that's closer to you, and this one that is facing away from you. So this one, the one that's facing you, called front loop, and this one that's facing away from you is called back loop. So when the pattern says single crochet BLO, what it basically says is you're still making your single crochet as usual, but instead of going under both front and the back, which is a normal way to do it, you're going to grab back only. See, just 1 string here, and then you still do the same thing. So this is gonna be 1, okay, and then we have to do increase. Increase means putting 2 into the same spot. So we're gonna put 1 and to the same spot 1, and then 1 here, and then we have to do increase again, which means 2 here, 1 and to the same 1, and then we have 1 stitch left. We're just going to put 1 in there. It's a little bit awkward first few rounds, and then when the tree gets bigger, it's gonna be much better. Okay, round 3. Round 3, we're making 2 single crochet below and then increase. So we're gonna put 1 here, 1, 2, and now it says increase. So to the next one, we're going to put 2 stitches in the same spot. So 1 and to the same spot 2. That's, we made increase. And then again 1, 2, and now we have to do increase. So to the next one, we're gonna put 2, and now we have 1 left again. We're just gonna put 1 in there. So you have this tail, you can cut it. I like to actually fold it and put it right in that tip of a tree instead of stuffing. Tuck it in. Okay, so round 4. Round 4, 3 single crochet below, increase. So 1, 2, 3, increase means 2 in the same spot. Because you were using back loop stitches and not just regular ones, it will give you this fun texture that I think is more interesting than if you would just make a regular single crochet. You could definitely do that, but it will be more like just a green cone, versus because you're using back loops, it creates this this fun texture and makes it more, I think, more fun and more realistic. Now you have 1 last stitch left in this round 10, but if you look at the pattern, it says in the last stitch of round 10, change yarn to dark brown. And if you never changed color before, I'll show you how to do it, but the main tip is that if you want your next stitch be different color, you have to do color change 1 stitch before. You have to sort of prepare for it. Here is your last stitch of round 10, okay, you stitch 23. You will put your hook here as usual and you begin your single crochet stitch. So you have 2 loops on your hook. Now normally you would do yarn over again and pull the yarn through and you would finish your stitch. But when you do color change, you come to this point, this halfway point, and what you're going to do is, instead of pulling green through these 2 loops, you will put this new brown one. Just put it in the hook like this, hold it, and pull it through. What's gonna happen is this last stitch still will be green, but you will have a brown loop on the hook, and that will prepare you for the next stitch. And the next stitch, which will be a first stitch of the next round, will be in the new color. So round 11 and until the end, you just do regular single crochets. So, okay. So you will put your hook under and see where I put my yarn. So see what I'm doing? I'm gonna grab yarn and pull through so that, and pull on this thread so it's nice and tight. And now boom, first stitch. And now you can cut your green yarn. You won't need it anymore. But what I like to do, so if you are a beginner, you can try to do what I'm doing now, or you can just tie these 2 ends together and tuck them in. You can do this. But what I like to do when I do most of my projects, when I do color change, after I did color change, I will crochet over this thread so they nice and secure there. I'm gonna put my hook, let me move this. I'm gonna put my hook here under the stitch, and then these tails, I'm gonna put them right in front of the hook. So not here, because then you're not gonna grab them, but in front of the hook. Then you pull thread. So see, these tails stay now part of a stitch, sort of, and then you just finish. So that's 2, 1, 2. I just realized that I should have just used different colors, something white or light, so it would be easier for you to see, because this dark colors are always difficult to see, especially on camera. So I apologize for that. So we made 1, 2. Now we have to make decrease. There are multiple ways to do decreases. I'm going to show you here one way and then later the other way, and you can decide. So the easiest way to do it, which is not always the best, but in this case it works, you insert your hook as usual, or pull yarn, so like that. Now instead of finishing the stitch, you go into the next stitch and do exactly the same thing again. So you have 3 loops on your hook, and now yarn over and pull it through all 3. That's it, you made the decrease. So again, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and now decrease. This is what you should have by the end of round 11. Round 12, we have to make 9 decreases. So this is a good opportunity to show you another way to decrease, called invisible decrease. And what you do for this one is, remember how I was talking about front loops and the back loops, right? So we were using back loops to make this portion. So to make invisible decrease, we're using front loops only. And what you do is you insert your hook into the front loop, and then immediately under the front loop of the next stitch. And then you do yarn over, pull yarn through, and then finish it as usual. And you made a decrease, so that's gonna be 1. Then we do it again. Under front loop, under the front loop of the next one, pull yarn through 2, and then 2. This is 2. We need to make 9 like this. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. Because there are so many decreases, it's gonna create a rapid closure, and you will get this the shape like this. Actually, I just realized I forgot to put stuffing. It's not a big deal. You can do it now as well. The opening is large enough for a finger. Something like this. Okay, so as you can see, we have 2 more to make that decrease. But if you look at the pattern, you will see that we have to change color because round 13 will be in white. And as you remember, to start a new round in white, we have to make a color change in the last stitch of the previous one. Remember, same idea. We will do this. We will start decrease as usual. Pull the yarn through. Okay, and now we have 2 stitches on the hook. Let's actually cut now. And instead of finishing it with brown, we will finish this stitch with white yarn. And round 13 is asking for 9 increases. So we have 9 stitches now. We have 9 stitches now, so we'll put 2 into each one, and that will give us 18. So 1 into the same place, 2. And again, you can tie these ends together and just tie them, or you can crochet them into this. So I just like to put them like this and hold with my finger and work my hook around so that they're nice and secure. And the last stitch to there, 17, 18. This is what you have, 18 stitches, because we had 9 stitches and we made 9 increases, so now we have 18 stitches. Round 14 is asking for 18 increases, so we will continue putting 2 into each one. Okay, it will be a bit wonky because you made so many increases, but that's okay because the last round will fix it. You just will make 36 single crochet full round, so 1 into each stitch, and this will take care of the wobbliness. Okay, 36. It's optional. You can finish it in any way. I like to finish with a slit stitch. And then I'm just gonna cut and yarn over, pull, so that your last stitch is secure. Now let's stretch it a little bit so it's nice and flat. There you go. Perfect, right? Weaving ends also can be done in different ways. I'll show you the simplest one. The main trick is when you hide in ends, see how this is, the last loop has like a little bump. So don't fold it this way, because then the bump will stay. Fold it this way. I do different projects in different ways, but I'll show you a simple one. You can go from behind and then to the back. Okay, see, it's pretty good, pretty even. And now you're just gonna use these loops to weave in your ends. If you using felt, and you can see in the pattern I showed how I cut the circle, and I mean it's very simple, then you can just bring your thread here, tuck it in, and then you will put this green circle here, so everything will get covered. But if you want to leave it open, then you just have to make it a bit nicer, so it's not like this. And yeah, that is it. Your tree is ready. I know it was longer than 15 minutes, but that's because I was stopping to explain different loops and things like that. But it is a very quick project. It's great for beginners, and it also amazing for experienced crocheters, because Christmas is such a busy time. So it's nice to have a cute little projects like this that you can make a bunch in one evening and prepare it as gifts for your friends, family, co-workers, and so on. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any trouble finding pattern. Okay, that is it, and you have a wonderful day, and till next.